to this bonus video offered in our course, The Basics of Arms and Hands Technique in Egyptian Dance. This one is about the most common mistakes Oriental dancers do regarding arms and hands in Egyptian dance. This is going to be a very spot on and perhaps comic video. Don't take it personal. All of us, including myself, have gone through one or more of these common mistakes. You ready? Let's start. Common mistake number one in arms and hands in Egyptian dance is what I call el-marwah. This is an Arabic word, marwah, that means the fan. You know, that thing that produces fresh air in a hot summer day. Yeah. So if you remember el-marwah, the fan goes like that, right? Many of us do the same with our hands. El-marwah is this. So movements of the hands that are meaningless and totally unconscious, and they go independently of the music. This is not even a circle. It is not a complete circle. It's just doing rough drafts of a circle at a specific speed of our own making. This is common mistake number one, el-marwah. We don't want marwah. We don't want this. We want perfect circles and hand movements that are totally integrated with the music. We don't want automatic pilot fans unless it's really, really hot and you need a fan. In that case, go for it. Otherwise, no marwah. You go beautiful and soft, you go with the music and you do the correct movement, okay? Common mistake number two, it is what I call the rabbit hole. Oh yeah, baby, what is the rabbit hole? I'm not exaggerating. So many dancers, and again, I went through the rabbit hole phase, I know what I'm speaking about, they dance like that, okay? So they're moving and their arms are like that, waiting to be used. This is the rabbit hole. We don't want rabbit holes. No. Arms are not hanging around waiting to be used. They should be engaged at all times, and they should be located in specific positions that you either know instinctively because you've worked enough for it, so your body knows where to locate the arms automatically without you thinking, or you may choreograph those positions. You may know exactly where you stand instead of having the rabbit hole position here waiting for something miraculous to happen, okay? So this would be the common mistake number two. Common mistake number three in arms and hands in Egyptian dance is what I called the puppet. What is the puppet? The puppet moves like that. Someone taught you how to perform certain positions and certain postures and certain movements, so you most likely will learn those postures and those movements through mimic. You're going to follow your teacher and you're going to memorize them. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you dance, instead of flowing and using your arms normally, as if you were communicating, as if you were speaking, which is what is supposed to happen, you're going to go into the puppet mode, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm a puppet or a person. No. Movements and postures and everything you learn in Egyptian dance should ultimately feel and look natural. It should not feel machine-like. It should not look machine-like. Then again, this is all about good quality training and practice. Common mistake number four in arms and hands in Egyptian dance, the mime. I'm not a good mime, but you get the point. What is the mime? The mime is the dancer who copies certain colloquial gestures from Egyptian culture, and they copy-paste it into their dance without knowing what they mean and why they're doing it. They see someone doing those gestures, so they mimic them. They put them into their dance as if they were add-ons and proofs of their knowledge of the culture. So you have, for instance, like that, something like that, something like that, something like that. This is shabi. Something like this. Ooh, you hurt me. Or in the stomach, you hurt me. Or like this. Ya lahwi. There are so many gestures that come from life. They come from the talk of people. They come from the way they live, from the way they communicate outside of the dance field, and they have transpired into the dance. But in order for you to integrate those movements and those specific postures into your dance, you have to know what they mean first, and you have to integrate them in the story that you're telling when you're dancing, instead of just copy pasting them. Just because someone told you, if you're in pain, this is what you do, it doesn't mean that's what you should do, okay? So there are different gestures commonly observed in Egyptian dance. Many of them are originated in the baladi shab environment, so you will have a lot of these gestures coming from those specific sides of Egyptian society and Egyptian dance and Egyptian music. But learning the meaning, learning the context, and then integrating it into your own dance, into the meaning that a certain specific song has for you, is essential, as opposed to copy pasting them without knowing what they mean, okay? Don't be a mime, be a dancer, a communicator, okay? Movements have the meaning we give to them. So if you don't know the meaning of certain movements, don't use them, or search for their meaning, bring the meaning into your dance, and then you will be okay. Common mistake number 5 in the way dancers use arms and hands in Egyptian dance is what I call the starfish. Oh yeah, Bob Fosse style. So what does this mean? Dancers who dance like this and dancers who dance like that. Dancers who don't use the classical position for their hands, instead they go like this all the time. Now, unless you are a peasant at the shore of the Nile, unless you are an uneducated Oriental dancer, or unless you don't care, you're not gonna dance like this, okay? This is not how an educated dancer practices Egyptian dance. You learn the basics, baby. You learn it, and then if you want, you break them. There are certain parts of Egypt where you will see people, uneducated dancers, then again, using hands like that. Why? Because they did not study dance. They don't know, okay? So you will probably see falahin, the peasants, dancing like this, right? Because they don't know. They were not educated in dance. They don't have dance training, right? It doesn't make them better or worse dancers. It just makes them amateurs. It makes them a natural dancer who is not trained technically. But you are trained technically. So there is no excuse to dance as if you were Bob Fossing. Okay? Go back to the classical position, and then when you go for a falahin piece, or perhaps even sha'abi, or even baladi, you can get away with a little bit looser hands, but not out of ignorance, out of decision, a conscious decision of breaking the rules a little bit. It's a very different way of dealing with your movement, either from ignorance or from conscious choice. I would rather having you dancing from a conscious choice. I would rather having you learn the rules and then break them according to your own creativity. Common mistake in hands and arms technique in Egyptian dance is what I call the mummy or Tutankhamun. Yes, what is the mummy? That dancer that stands by a position forever and ever. She stands, or he stands by that position, and they stand there until death do us part and beyond. That can be this, it can be that, it can be this, it can be that, it can be here, it can be there, it can be here, it can be there, it can be anywhere. The question is, they're stuck in a specific position and they stand by it, come rain or come shine. There is no mobility, there is no change. Now, if you're a beginner that is excused because you're not yet familiar with the different positions of arms and hands, and you don't have enough training to move comfortably from one position to the other. So if you are a beginner, you're excused. You can be Tutankhamun, you can be a mummy a little bit, and then with time you start moving from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, and gradually you will start feeling confident in the flow between different postures and different movements. But if you're not a beginner, there is no excuse, baby. You're not supposed to look and feel like Tutankhamun. You are not a mommy, you are a beautiful dancer. So instead of sticking with a position and staying there until death do us part, just move with it, okay? And if you're afraid of having sloppy arms, if you're afraid of making mistakes, the only thing I can tell you is don't be. All of us do mistakes. All of us have sloppy arms at times. The only way to grow out of it and the only way to improve is to keep doing and doing and doing. And mistakes are a natural part of any learning process. So you should not fear mistakes. You should fear the fear of doing mistakes, okay? So go ahead, flow from movement to movement. Even if you're not sure you're going to be able to handle it during an entire song. I often suggest my students at my school and at my private online coaching programs that they film themselves and they watch themselves. And when you see you're having trouble in the transition between arm movements, for instance, which is something very common, don't stress. You just observe it, you state the fact, and you say, okay, I got to power on because I know where I'm going to be working in the following weeks. I know of a weaker point of something that needs to be developed because I can see it. I'm seeing myself. And I don't like the way I'm connecting the arms and the hands, or I'm not connecting the arms and the hands. So now that I know, I can do something about it. And this is the mindset for growth in your dance and in your life, okay? Go for it. Enjoy it. I do know that you found yourself in one or more of these common mistakes. Then again, don't stress. It's only natural. We're here to learn together, and I'm very, very pleased to share all of this information and also sense of humor with you. If you want to know more about arms and hands in Egyptian dance, make sure you check our courses available at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School. We have 2 beautiful courses specifically dedicated to arms and hands technique and emotional expression in Egyptian dance available at our school. Where do you know how to find them? In the description box below this video. Subscribe to my channel now and join our newsletter so that you can be an insider at Joana Saahirah's world. Be the first one to receive our news, gifts, and inspirations. Then again, all information on how to join our newsletter right there in the description box below this video. I love you, and I will see you very, very soon. Until then, receive my kiss. Mwah.